Okay, Zoom is coming. I mean, Facebook is coming.
Yeah, we're on. It says we're streaming live, so I think.
Great. Just click to expand. Okay, I think we figured it out. We have Zoom communicating with Facebook. All right, thank you for joining us, folks. I'm assuming that we are live right now.
Yeah.
You being here, if you could, what would be really great is if you could post and let us know you're here, and then we will know for sure.
We have people coming on, Rick.
Excellent, we are good. Today, I think we figured it out. We have I'm health coach Rick, and I can hear myself, so let me turn that down. Still trying to manage that, Nancy. I want to make sure I can hear you, and let me just turn the volume down, and we're good. Okay, so Nancy, you are a coach in the HMR program. I am as well. We've been colleagues for over 30 years, and we are excited about tonight's episode. So thank you, folks, for being here. I'm hoping that, again, as people join, they can just give us a quick hello so that we know that they are there.
We got a lot of people already on.
Great. Well, I'm going to count on you to man the comments because my comment screen is blank, of course.
I will. Hopefully
that will start to populate. Now, we are streaming this on HMR's public page, and this is one of in a series of Facebook Live events we've been doing since the pandemic. And really the goal of these events is to have a conversation that supports you and our whole community to continue to make healthy lifestyle changes. And we're not just talking about making lifestyle changes to lose weight. Obviously, that's very important. We're talking about keeping up the healthy lifestyle changes for the long term. So we feel that these conversations are really important because let's face it, lifestyle changes are hard work. There's so little support out there for making consistent, healthy lifestyle choices, whether it's the diet or how easy it is to be sedentary, or it might even be, Nancy, you and I talked about this earlier today, it might even be other people that can serve as impediments and challenges to you making healthy lifestyle choices. So given that, it makes sense to periodically step back and talk about why it's worth it. It's a lot of work. Why is it worth it to keep up the work of practicing a healthier lifestyle? And there are many, many reasons, but invariably they all sort of come back to some aspect of your quality of life. And it's worth it to you from a quality of life perspective to keep up the practice of a healthy lifestyle. So Nancy, we could look at this from a bunch of angles. What would you say about quality of life and all of those reasons that are represented by that?
Yeah, I think, let's face it, they run the gamut, Rick. So there's benefits. They can be physical benefits, just how you feel physically, or just, things that have improved for your health. There's also all the emotional benefits, right? Mm-hmm. Just how people feel so much differently as a result of the work that they're doing and weight that they've lost. And they can be major changes in your life, but they can also be smaller things. So we're going to be hearing examples of the entire gamut tonight. And they all of them, the big and the small, they all contribute to quality of life.
Yeah. We're asking all of you who are watching, if you're in the process of making lifestyle changes, do you have quality of life improvements that you'd be willing to share? We also have 4 guests coming on, technology cooperating, of course. We have Susan, and then Dave, and then we're going to have Jennifer coming on, and then we'll wrap it up with Phil. And they're going to talk from their own perspective about why all of this work that they put in, their commitment to their healthy lifestyle, why is it worth it? What are they experiencing in the HMR program? So as we are talking to them, please feel free to, in the comment section, ask them any questions. And we'll keep it moving because we want to hear from everybody. If they can't answer your questions live, then they will certainly answer those in the comment section afterwards. So we look forward to hearing from each and every one here. Now, having said that, we did pose a thought starter, Nancy, earlier in the week. We asked the question. Actually, did you want to welcome anyone who is joining here? And
Problem is, I have a lot of people that are watching. Let me say, I'm not seeing comments. So either people are not commenting or I haven't figured out how to see it on here. But we've got Dave, we've got Elizabeth,
Good.
Scott, Shane's here,
Hey,
Cheryl,
Shane. Great.
Diane, Ann, Rachel, Sandy, Cheryl. We've got Nikki, Carol. We got a lot of new names here. Kathleen.
Yeah.
Another
You know, I
Carol.
just went on my iPad, Nancy, and I can see comments.
Oh,
So
all right.
Marlene, great, from Ohio, fantastic. Nancy T is already giving us her quality of life improvements, Nancy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she is minus 30 points on her blood pressure and has lost 70 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Just fantastic.
Well, we've got a lot of people on. I am going to figure out how to see the comments here.
Yeah, if you have another device, that's how I'm doing.
Yeah, not in this room, though, unfortunately. Okay.
So earlier in the week, a couple of times, we posted the thought starter for the community. What change in your quality of life do you appreciate most from being in the program? And boy, as Nancy and I were reviewing these with the team, some real themes emerged. Right off the bat, a number of people right in a row reported being off of medications or substantially reducing the number of medications that they're taking to manage various aspects of their health, but also just feeling better physically. So Nancy, if I could just start, Catherine, big quality of life improvement she's appreciating. Having my type 2 diabetes finally under control. She's dropped her insulin dosage by 2/3. Congratulations, Catherine. That's just extraordinary. That's not the norm. It usually goes the other direction, up.
Right.
Nancy, what about you? Do you have one to share?
Yes, I have Laura.
Yes.
And Laura also was able to get off of 6 out of 8 of her medications. And she's now able to go hiking in the national parks. I love that myself. I've gone to there. Hiking was never something I was able to do. Big quality of life. 106 pounds down, thanks to HMR.
Wow.
And I'm not done yet.
Oh, wow, Laura, congratulations. Over 100 pounds. That's just extraordinary. I'm going to follow that up, Nancy, with a couple of others. Liz reported she's off her insulin completely and has lost 45 pounds in the HMR program. And then also Adrian reported her biggest quality of life improvement that she's most in touch with is she has been able to substantially reduce medications that she was taking to manage pain, Nancy. So that's extraordinary.
Yeah,
really good.
Chronic pain, if that doesn't wear you down, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and staying with the theme, we've got one from Jane. Again, I have my diabetes under control. My A1C is the lowest it's ever been in my life. The only meds I'm taking now are multivitamins. And my back and shoulder pain is at minimum. I've lost 160 pounds and I feel great.
60 pounds, I think.
I'm sorry, 60 pounds.
60
and I feel
pounds.
Great.
Still, it's incredible. And then I'll just wrap up with one more, and then we're going to have our first guest come on. So Susan, if you're listening, get ready to join us here. I want to come back to actually the person who co-hosted with me last week, Nancy, Shane, who we know well. Hey, Shane, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
And I loved what you had to say. We agree. It's a quality of life. It's such an all-encompassing phrase, but some of the things you shared, but you've added to what you've said in the past, off of all medication, delayed knee surgery, maybe indefinitely, into regular size clothing. I can sit on an airplane, in a restaurant booth, on a roller coaster, in a go-kart, etc. My daily life is more enjoyable, less pain. I feel so much more comfortable. Before, I was rarely comfortable anytime. And I love this part, Nancy. I'm more active with my daughter and her activities. I no longer need to sit on the sidelines for life events. I can participate. So many more, but too many to list. Thank you, Shane. Just awesome, awesome, awesome.
It's great.
All right, well, we'll come back to some of those posts, and we'd invite, if you're listening and you haven't had a chance to add in something that you're appreciating from the commitment that you've made to your own health in the HMR program. What quality of life improvement or benefit are you most in touch with right now that's most meaningful to you? And I'm going to go into the waiting room.
Yep. And I can see the comments now, by the way.
Oh, very good. I'm about to have Susan come on. Did you want to shout out to anyone in particular there, Nancy?
Oh, Bob Garrison just says, all right, I don't miss taking those insulin shots. So just
That's
another.
right. Great, Bob. Bob, one of our regulars. Glad to have you here. All right. Well, let's actually start to talk in person to some of our regulars. Nancy, Susan, let's get you in here. I'm admitting you into the room. And again, technology. There you are. Hey, and you got some family there with you.
Oh.
Can you hear some of our regulars, Nancy? Susan, let's get you in here. I'm admitting you into the room. Okay, Susan, again, turn down volume. There you are. Hey, and you got some family there with you.
That's right. I have two devices. I don't know if Susan. I'm hearing things double, so I should probably turn this off.
It's okay.
Susan,
turn down.
Okay.
How's
that?
Perfect. Great.
Oh, that's much better.
Turn on my own volume now.
Great to see you. Very nice.
Yeah. This is so exciting. My kids know how nervous I am now. So.
Nope. Nope. They don't look nervous.
No. I'm.
Way to go. She's great. All right. So Susan, we could probably spend the whole 45 minutes talking to just you. I could say that to everyone. So I'm going to go right to it here. Just tell us, if you could, which diet did you use to lose the weight? How much did you lose? And you're in phase 2. How long have you been in the weight management part of the program? Just give us that, and then we'll get into the quality of life stuff.
Sure. I started on Healthy Solutions with phone coaching at home in of 2019, and I lost about 75-ish pounds or so.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm switched to phase 2, which was around the beginning of February of this year. I was not quite at my goal weight at that point, but I was very close. But at that point, I actually started gaining weight, and I went through a little phase of like, am I ever going to get to goal weight? I don't know. I was still in the box, but I was getting a little bit more liberal with my choices. And then I tightened things up, got to my goal weight, and now I'm actually 5 pounds below my goal weight, and now I have a total weight loss of 80 pounds.
Congratulations. That is extraordinary. Can I ask the community, as you're listening to this, to give a little appreciation to Susan for that? Way to go. What an extraordinary achievement, Susan. I can only imagine, and we've seen your posts, so we know that you're kind of thrilled about this whole experience. Maybe hard to narrow it down to 1 or 2 things, but if you were pressed, what quality of life experience are you having now that's weren't having before you lost the weight, that you're appreciating the most, besides picking up your child there?
I think, no, not right now. I think really the biggest benefits are the ones I can't even see, because I think I'm preventing a lot of future issues. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I won't have to go on blood pressure medication like my parents did. I won't have to worry about, my blood sugars like my mom, or heart attack. Hopefully I'm preventing those things in the future. I don't have some amazing story about going off medications or anything like that, but I'm hoping that I prevented it from the future. But the biggest thing for now was just confidence. I was obese. I was didn't like how I looked in any outfits, and now okay. I'm very just confident, and even just that idea that I set out to do this and I did it. It's just like daily. And I can run, I can, play with the kids. It's, you said that it's hard to narrow it down, and it is, because it's everything about.
Well, you seem pretty lit up about it. You shared a little bit about how there was, after things had trailed off a little, and then you sort of regrouped and whatnot. I'm thinking, Nancy, it's wonderful to hear from people who have been just so successful in the program, but I'm also thinking about people who may not be feeling like they're at the top of their game. What would you say to yourself when things weren't necessarily going as great as you wanted to? Like what was useful for you, sort of the positive self-talk to keep it going, Susan?
Well, honestly, Rick and Nancy, you guys had a lot to do with it, because I would tune in on Thursdays, and I think I had one of my epiphanies just listening to you guys talking about more is better. And just, I think that as long as you're feeling good physically and feeling satisfied, you can keep going on a program. So, you know, I know on other diets that I've been on, I just get to this point with my hunger where I just can't take it anymore. And I have to get off the program just to feel good. But on HMR, I just know that if I follow the guidelines, I'm going to feel good and I'm going to be able to meet and now even surpass my goals. So I think that just kind of the support, and there's so many different ways that you guys provide support. There's this, and there's, you know, the phone groups, and there's just, I'm just on your Facebook group every day, just writing, you know, sometimes posting myself, sometimes posting on other people, commenting on other people's posts. I think just constantly sort of keeping that mental game going. You feel like you're in it, and you just want to, just success sort of like spirals more success.
Right.
I was thinking you're very active, Susan. Like you really do stay very involved. And when you're committed like that and you're getting support from all those different aspects and feeling like such a community, I think it does help to stay focused that way and get perspective. You know, even, you know, because we all have our ups and downs, but you get perspective. And, you know, I think that's been one of your strengths that has led to all your success.
Yeah, it's just, I never let myself feel like I'm out of it. I'm always in it. Even last summer, I went away for a few days. I went to a destination wedding, and I was in phase 1 at the time. Coach Janet just said it's easier to just stay with the program than it is to leave it for a little while and come back. So since April of 2018, I've been on it. And I'm a person who can't stick to a diet normally, but just like I said, the guidelines that you guys have are just so well thought out and just easy to follow for me. I honestly, I don't feel like it's a struggle day to day. I enjoy it. I look forward to the food. I'm in phase 2. I don't have to eat the food, but I like it and it's convenient. So I keep eating it.
Great. So great. Well, you know, I think you hit on what we sort of consider the best kept secret in weight loss, and no one's talking about it. And it's probably our biggest strength, which is this whole idea of more is better. And that, you know, we recognize that we like to eat and it's a big part of life. And if you can develop the skills around what to eat, as obviously you have, and it's, you know, it's an ongoing process of skill development for all of us, there's this freedom, and you can just hear it in your voice. It's awesome. You've done so well. Just extraordinary. Keep at it. Keep posting. Keep supporting the community, and the community will keep supporting you. Really, really great, Susan.
So nice to see you and talk to you.
I know. Hello. Oh, well, I think we might be neighbors because I'm in Boston. But
yes, we're all in Massachusetts.
We're all up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You have changed my life. I'm so glad I found HMR.
Wonderful. Well, here's to the first of maybe more meetings in the future within this medium, we hope, Susan. Awesome. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here. Stay on if you would as well, because people may have some questions for you and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to, Nancy, really quickly, I just want to, a lot of people have joined. Joan is watching, Erin, Celeste, Aniki, Jean, Veronica, Bianchi, and Jennifer is also watching, a different Jennifer than who is going to be joining us in a few minutes. Let me just see here. I hate to do it, Susan, but I'm going to figure out how to remove you from the group.
Oh, gee.
It just doesn't even feel right to do that, but here we go. Remove. Bye, Susan.
Bye, Susan.
Oh, Nance, I almost got rid of you by mistake. Sorry.
All right. Leave me on.
Bye. Okay. Nancy, what do you say? You want to invite Dave in?
Absolutely.
And have him tell us a little bit about his experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave, if you're watching, here we are. This is awesome, being able to invite people into the room, Nancy. I love this.
I love it too.
Hey, Dave, are you there? Is connecting to audio. Are we getting Dave on video, or is it just going to be audio? Let me just see here. I'm going to ask him to start his video.
Here he is.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks for your spending some time here with everybody. Your story's not a secret. We have been watching you and rooting you on, the community, not just Nancy and I. You've done an extraordinary job in the program, Dave, just extraordinary. You want to give people a quick recap of how much you lost and which diet you used to lose the weight, and then we'll get into what quality of life benefits you're really appreciating most.
And if you are in phase 2, Dave, I'm not sure if you are, but if you are, how long have you been there?
Okay. I started in Healthy Solutions on February 5th. And since then, I've lost 62 pounds. I started phase 2 on August 1st. And I'm in Lydia Reed's class.
Excellent. Excellent. So I'm sure life's different being down that weight. And we said it to Susan. Were you able to watch us discussing Susan's experience, or were you being in the waiting room? Could you see it?
I couldn't, no.
I'll
watch it.
Okay. Well, just we were just talking about how it's kind of hard to narrow down. You know, life's obviously different. But as Nancy had said right up front, as you sort of tie it back to almost everything about why it's important to keep this going, ties back to some aspect of quality of life. And while it may be hard to narrow it down, I'm wondering if you can. Is there some one thing or two that sort of rises above the rest in terms of why you are willing to continue to put in the work that you're putting in to practice healthy lifestyle choices like you are and keeping this weight off? Like, well, how is life different, and what's the most important or the biggest benefit you appreciate about how your life is different now?
Well, the biggest thing is, let me give you a little history. In 2016, I was jumping off flatbeds, semis, checking loads, and I was a nurse, so I was on my feet for hours on end without breaks. In 2017, I got sick, and it took my legs out from underneath me. So it's basically similar to MS. And it actually put me in a wheelchair. I couldn't stand or walk more than 5 minutes. Wow. There was no quality of life. I'm stuck at home. I couldn't go outside by myself. I was afraid to fall. I was falling all the time. And as of today, I'm walking about 15,000 to 20,000 steps on average per day. About 7 miles a day inside my apartment. Wow. I'm starting to get a little more confidence. I actually took the trash out the other day by myself. I'm not afraid to fall anymore because I've gained some strength in my legs, and so the balance is there. The second thing would be I'm no longer on insulin. I'm no longer dependent on insulin. That is, I'm controlling my diabetes with my eating habits and my PA.
Absolutely.
I've got 7 doctors, and so far 3 of them have been ecstatic of my results. I went to one 2 days ago, and he was actually asking me about this program after I explained to him what I've been doing.
Right.
I'll actually refer it to some of his other patients.
I mean, life must be so much better for you. Just being mobile. I mean, and the progress that you've made must just feel so great. And then just not having to be on all the medication. But what's that like? You know, not having to take the medications.
The biggest thing is cost. You don't have to spend all that money on the insulin.
That matters.
That's
I don't have to prick my finger all the time. I'm not constantly giving myself shots all day long.
Wow. It's awesome. It's awesome.
He is wonderful.
And I'm also off 2 other medications as well. So other than the insulin.
You know, I think about, you know, you have sort of a unique history with the legs and everything. And I think of the weight loss obviously has allowed you to do things that you weren't able to do at a heavier weight, but then also you're now exercising more, which independent of the weight loss is supporting your legs to get stronger and just to boost that confidence. And it's the same thing with the medications as well. I mean, diet alone can support what you've accomplished. You add in the exercise, it's even a bigger effect. And then with the big weight loss, it's profound. It's this beautiful synergy between the lifestyle changes and the weight loss. And then the weight loss allows you to make more lifestyle changes. Does that sound sort of like an accurate representation of how it's been for you?
Exactly. I've gotten my independence back. You know, I still can't do some things. I can't drive and so, you know, things like that. But at least I can fend for myself when my wife is gone all day at work. So
really, really great.
It'll cut down on blood clots from being sedentary and things like that as well.
Well, you have a lot of support in the clinic you're in, and a real champion in our friend Shane. So really good job to you. I think I would.
I was just going to say, and Lydia, you've got a great health coach too.
Yeah. Let me ask you just before we sign off here, Dave, do you have, I'm just again thinking, Nancy, about, you know, there are people who may be feeling like they're on a roll with their lifestyle health habits, people who are sort of mid-progress, and then there are others who are feeling like they need a reboot or whatever. You know, we're talking about quality of life, Dave. You know, we've touched on the tip of your iceberg in that area. Do you have any advice or any words of support for people who may feel like they're not in action right now about their weight, their lifestyle, etc.? Any thoughts on that?
Well, first you have to develop a why that's strong enough to override the why not. Second, you have to love yourself enough to change. And don't give up. Just keep fighting for you.
Yep.
You're the most important thing in your life. So do it for you.
Beautiful. Great advice. Develop and really embrace your why. I mean, it really does start there. What is your why for wanting to do this work? What are your reasons? And really, Nancy, this whole discussion revolves around that, really sort of taking some time to sort of cultivate what's possible when you make lifestyle changes.
And knowing that it is possible.
Yes.
You know, for years, you know, I'm keeping off 60 pounds, but for years, I never thought I could ever be thin. Ever. And, but you know what? It took actually starting to lose weight to realize that, oh my goodness, wait a minute, there is a thinner person in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But just know that it's worth trying.
It's great. How long, Nancy, have you kept off the 60 pounds?
For me, it's been 40 years now, but
40 years. Yeah. So there is some real hope here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Really great, Dave. Please keep hanging with us on our Thursday night events and continued success from the program, my friend. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Right. And once again, it feels terrible to do this, but now I need to remove you from the broadcast. All right, Dave, thumbs up, pal.
All right. God bless you all.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I don't know if anyone can appreciate how wrong it feels to
oh, God,
I didn't anticipate that, Nancy. Hey, Nance, before we invite Jennifer on, and Jennifer is someone who I work with every week in my Tuesday weight loss class. Nancy, I thought we would go back to the thought starter that we had posted earlier this week.
Yes.
You know, the question that we had asked the community. And, you know, I have noticed a lot of people are joining us still, even as we've been going along here.
Yeah, we've got a lot joining.
Hey,
a lot of comments, Rick, because I'm getting a lot of people joining, but not comments.
Yeah, I think that there might be something with the technology here that's preventing us from seeing what they're saying.
Okay.
Don't take it personally, folks, if we're
No.
not commenting on what you're saying. We can't see what you're saying.
No, all right. So I thought it was just me, but we've got a lot of people on. Let me give a shout out to, we've got Francisco and Corrine and Linda and Laura and Angela and Chris, Ray, Brian. Hi, Brian. Patricia, Karen.
Oh, Brian. Hey, Brian. Awesome.
Yeah, great he's on. Sheila,
Great.
Ann, Karen, Duncan, Scott, Ann, Lillian, Renee's with us. Hey, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
And Lisa, one of our regulars. So lots of people. Just
Totally
welcome
great.
everybody. We're really spending an entire event here celebrating your quality of life improvements. And we've just heard from a couple of participants in the program who are our guests, and we're going to also now share some of the posts that we got in our thought starter.
That's right. So the question that we asked in that thought starter was, what change in your quality of life do you appreciate most from being in the program? We've acknowledged this a few times. It's tough to narrow it down, but Nance, I'm going to start with Sally, who had, it was short but sweet, and it was a beautiful comment about a big change in her physicality. I'm not tired all the time. Boy, that's only a few words, but that says a lot right there.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Sally. Keep up the good work. Lifestyle changes, positive lifestyle changes, give you energy, and that's what you're experiencing along with the weight loss. Tremendous. I'll also share a couple more, less on the physical, more on the emotional well-being positives that people experience, Nancy. Sherry, if you're watching, let us know. Here's what she's appreciating most with her commitment to her health. Getting out from under the horrific burden of shame and judgment that I've felt my whole life. I think a lot of people can relate to that. People can be tough, but we all can be tough on ourselves too. So Sherry, I'd love to hear that. And then Mary, Nancy followed that up with so much more self-confidence and self-esteem, life-changing. Well, there you go. You want to change your life in some of these areas that we're talking about here? Lifestyle changes is how to do it. And that's what HMR helps people to do. So congratulations, Mary, Sherry, and Sally. Beautiful. Nancy, what were some of the posts that you liked in response?
Yes, I have a couple from Kelly and one from Thomas that I want to share.
Yeah.
Kelly's first one, again, goes back to having energy. The other day, I ran down my block to catch my dog, and I actually ran, and I wasn't out of breath. Awesome. I love that.
That's great.
You're like so real.
I don't think the dog probably liked getting caught, but you know, that's one of the side effects here of weight loss. Okay, yeah. Keep going.
And then Thomas, I love this because let's face it, whether people want to admit it or not, you want to look good in clothing, right? So he says, I get to wear clothes I never wore before, such as t-shirts. Now, when I travel, I only pack t-shirts and I love it. So that's definitely, you know, who would argue that aspect. And then one more from Kelly. And I just think this is like, so keeping it real, being able to use a standard bath towel and have it close in the front.
I love it. I love
that one. Just
that is great.
Speaking the truth.
Really good. Way to go, Kelly. Way to bring the authenticity. Yeah. Just wrap it up here. There's one more that struck me, Nancy, from Lanny. Lanny, thank you. Let us know if you're here. Being able to move and play with my children. My stamina and flexibility are greatly improved. I don't have to sit on the sidelines. And there's that metaphor again. Shane introduced it earlier in my comments that I read of his, and now we have it again. Not sitting on the sidelines. I mean, that is what we're talking about, making positive lifestyle changes to get out into the game called your life. Boy, are these beautiful comments. Thank you so much, Lanny, for reinforcing that particular metaphor. All right. So I think at this point.
And just to say, we have a couple that Sandy sent us of comments that came up. Bob G says he's traveled to places with food challenges and actually lost weight. Like he went to Las Vegas and lost weight. How difficult is that?
Bob.
Talk about commitment, right?
Bob, way to go. Amazing. Amazing. It's possible. It's possible. So,
and then Tamara, just one more. Tamara, positive mental health changes. So again, you know, whatever that means, less anxiety, feeling more confident, less stress.
Yeah. I don't think you could say enough, Nancy, about the whole emotional well-being part of this. I mean, it's easier to point at the medications that are down or the physical changes that have life easier and just better for you. But, you know, even someone who had shared about the shirts, and I had mentioned this in my weight loss class earlier this week, it doesn't matter what the changes. I had one guy who's kind of embarrassed and I kind of want to look good in a bathing suit. And my response to him was, does that affect your outlook? And he's like, absolutely. And I said, then that is not trivial. That is important.
It is not trivial at all.
No reasons or no improvements in quality of life, whatever if they're important to you, then they are important, period. So great stuff. Really, really great.
Really great.
All right, let's get Jennifer in here.
Yes.
I'm dying for this. Talk to Jennifer every week.
One of our regulars, she's with us every week too.
There she is. Here she comes. Come on, Jennifer. I'm waiting for your picture to become your video. Let me just
important period.
Here she comes.
Hey,
Jennifer.
All right, let's get Jennifer in here.
Jennifer, turn your volume.
Yep, I got to turn my audio off. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do, and then you scared me.
Jennifer, I'm glad that
you're scary, Jennifer. I can understand why you feel that way.
I feel like the only technology boob here because I seem to not be able to figure this stuff out. But thank you for having your volume up high so I have company. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right.
Here we are. Jennifer, I was just saying to the community, you and I speak every week in our weight loss class, and you're here. You are a regular on our Facebook Lives. So nice to see you face to face and finally have this type of a communication. Welcome.
Thank you.
So give us a quick, well, I know how much weight you're down, but tell everyone else.
Well, as of this last Monday, I'm just shy of my first 100 pounds.
Oh, Jennifer, that's fabulous. Oh my.
Awesome.
And you're doing the Healthy Solutions program, right?
That's right.
Yes, I've actually gone back and forth. I started on Healthy Solutions, and then my clinic was open for a couple months locally, and I did Decision Free. And then after the clinic closed again for COVID, I came back on Healthy Solutions, and I've been with Rick ever since.
Yeah.
Almost 100 pounds. That's just, I remember when you were at 75, so you're just continuing to truck along.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Jennifer, you are so coachable and just, you know, it's just a great partnership that we have. And it's just been a pleasure watching you tackle each challenge as they come. And then you come back, you don't miss any of our sessions, and you just continue to chip away at this. So again, congratulations on the commitment that you have shown here in the program. Just awesome. Really, really great. So you don't have to, I had asked this question in our group. You could repeat your answer or you know, however you want to, you know, parse this. What are you most in touch with right now around a quality of life improvement that you're enjoying with your weight loss, but also the many positive lifestyle habits that you're practicing right now?
I would say it's probably a combination. I had mentioned in the group before that I was using my walker less and less.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago, I was able to take my son to the local zoo. Had to use my walker, but I mean, 4 hours at the zoo, who wouldn't? And what I mentioned in group on Tuesday, and I actually am wearing the shirt from the zoo.
Yes, yes.
Love that.
I was able to pick something off the shelf and not have to worry about whether or not it was going to fit.
Yeah,
that's so great, Jennifer.
So yeah, it's just been a combination of things. Primarily, I would say the movement, because towards the end of last year, I was barely getting anywhere without my walker, even within my own apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I bet your son was thrilled to be able to spend all that time in the zoo too and just be with you.
Oh yeah, it was actually quite entertaining when we were headed to the car. He said, "Thank you for this experience," and shook my hand.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sounds like he's angling for some money or something. Hey, that's just awesome. I love that so much. 4 hours doing anything is
That's
exhausting.
exhausting.
Could you ever picture having been able to do that before your work here?
Honestly, it had been about 4 years since we had been to the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, that was my pre-disability and walking, but I guarantee I was almost 50 pounds heavier the last time, too. And I remember having to make lots of stops. Pretty much wherever there was a bench, we stopped. So despite using the walker, I noticed that I didn't sit down as much in it. It was more of just kind of that extra support when it got to that point.
Yeah. Were you able to listen to either of the previous interviews here, Jennifer, or were you in the waiting room not hearing any of it?
Yeah, I've got my laptop in the background, so we're all good. I've been watching.
Yeah, no, I love the metaphor that Shane started and then was continued, was the idea of like getting off the sidelines and onto the field and into the game of life. And, isn't this just one more example of that? Being able to go to the zoo and being able to stay at the zoo and see the whole zoo and, share that experience with your son. It's just totally great. Really, really awesome. Well, here's to more success, Jennifer. We're talking to you in a few short days, but again, I would just, one more time, just acknowledge the way that you have approached this. It's, from my perspective as your coach, it's the best way to approach it. It's almost like a student. And, we talk a lot in our groups about having a beginner's mind, and who knows what I can discover here, not feeling like you already have the answers, because then you automatically put somewhat of a glass ceiling on your progress. You have had a beginner's mind ever since I started working with you. And it's a beautiful thing. And I think it's played a huge role in you continuing to progress as you have. It's just been so much fun to watch. And I look forward to the work ahead that we will have together. So thank you. Yeah. Awesome, Jennifer. Thank you for your time here. And I'm going to, once again, do what I hate to do is
no worries.
remove you, but with love. Have a great night.
Of course.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Good to talk to you, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.
Yep.
Okay. Boy, that was so awesome for me, Nancy.
I know.
Putting a face to the voice, and we worked a lot together, so that's been just great. Really, really great. All right. Without further ado, should we
let's get
have Phil come on? I'm waiting for him. Here we go. There we go. Phil, can you hear me this time?
He's
And
connecting.
you.
Hold on.
Testing. Phil, can you hear me?
It says he's still connecting to audio. So.
Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to.
Are you letting in his phone too?
Yeah, there we go.
There we
go.
Oh, am I there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Loud as
wonderful.
the
Hello.
bell. Hey, Phil, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Really
Good.
good.
You've been patient.
I would
Patiently
just-
waiting.
I just wanted, for people who may have joined after we started, I'll just, you're the last person we're going to talk to, Phil, so I'll just sort of tee it up for you a little bit. We're talking about the realities of how challenging it is to keep up a commitment to a healthy lifestyle. You got to have reasons, and invariably those reasons are going to trail back to some positives from a quality of life perspective that make all the work and effort worth it. So that is the question here. So Phil, if you could just share with people who are watching, how much have you lost? Which diet did you lose to do that? And then we'll get into some of what you are feeling are the biggest positives of this whole experience.
Sure. I started the program shortly after Super Bowl this year. I went through the UCI weight management program in Southern California in Orange County, and decided on the decision-free program there, and which is obviously medically supervised as well. And, very early on, I chose not to fight it. My first medical appointment, it was, Mel, I think we should take you off of metformin. And for me, that was like, I was told I'd be on that for the rest of my life.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I put up a fight to it, and the doctor was great. He was like, okay, well, we'll play it your way. And then, as I reflected on it, it's like, I've joined this program for a reason, and it's important to trust it. And my next meeting with him is like, okay, let's stop it. And I haven't looked back since then. So after about 5 months on decision-free, I migrated to Healthy Solutions in July. I continue to lose another maybe 15 pounds or so, and I'm approaching 90 right now.
Wow, tremendous.
Yeah.
Phil, I would just, for people who are watching, who may not be totally up to speed on the vernacular of the program, the decision-free diet is our highly structured diet where you're using only HMR foods. It's a very low-calorie diet with medical supervision, and the weight loss is significant, as you just heard. The Healthy Solutions diet is a combination of HMR foods and unlimited fruits and vegetables, which is obviously what you transitioned to. So
the decision-free diet, as Phil mentioned, needs to be done in a clinic. So you have to have a clinic near you. That's not something you can do strictly on your own.
Right, right. So your posts are awesome. They're really fun to read.
Thank you.
No, totally great. It's just a delight to read them. So let's hear from you on this. Again, I'll say it for the 4th time here, Nancy.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow this down. Why don't you give us a few different ways, things that you're like really in touch with and appreciate the most at this moment around improvements in your day-to-day quality of life as a function of the weight loss, but also the lifestyle changes. It's both that synergy that I talked about with Dave. So go ahead, give us a little bit about that.
I certainly can speak to the easy stuff, the low-hanging fruit, meaning I don't take any prescriptions any longer. I don't take pre-diabetes medicines. I don't take 2 different blood pressure medicines. So I am prescription-free, and that is incredibly satisfying, liberating, feels great. I feel better, I sleep better, I wake up feeling rested. I have much more stamina. I can actually do a push-up and not be embarrassed by doing that push-up. And I can actually do another one and then another one. So those were not quite on the table for me the right way before. But on maybe a more deeper level, from a quality of life point of view, I've learned a lot about myself through this, and really in awe of what happens when you have your ready and you have your why. And that intersection for me, combined with HMR, was a very powerful, or resulted in very powerful results. So, I spent a lot of time working on my why, and I memorialized it. It was before I ate my first shake of HMR. And for me, that was an important thing to refer back to along the way, especially early on when some weeks were not as much traction as other weeks.
Sure.
But I think I had the right mindset of HMR is, it's my tool of change. It isn't my punishment for prior food sins. So that's worked well for me. And then one of the things I really found interesting is I was never asked, what is my weight loss goal?
Right.
I kept on having numbers in my head. And then I got to a place where it's like, why do I want to limit myself? Shouldn't I allow myself to enjoy this journey and let's see where it goes? And that was a very liberating thing for me to listen to my body more than the limitations of my mind. And I, like everyone else here, have been affected through the shutdown of COVID, and I wouldn't let those kinds of things deter me. For me, the gym closed. Well, I really enjoyed now working out outside, and I didn't have the same relationship with the gym. being on decision free, and HMR was great through the early parts of the shutdown. You know, having my food delivered and not have to worry about the grocery store. So that was an asset to me. And, you know, just my experience in working with the folks at the UCI program, my coach, you know, Kelly Rubenstein and Katie Rankle, the program director, have been tremendous support and give me so much confidence going forward.
Wonderful. It's really, really great. So I'll press on the question again. Biggest difference right now, either physically or it could be more of an emotional outlook thing that if you had to narrow it down, and it might be something that you might have thought wouldn't have been possible maybe before the program. Is there anything that you can sort of highlight?
Oh, well, if there's, you know, highlight is, I like the guy I see in the mirror.
That's great.
I wasn't so happy with the other guy.
Yeah, no, that's that matters. That affects quality of life. We've heard that 1,000 times in the program, walking by the car and the reflection that looks back. Who is it and who do you want it to be? Yeah. That's great, Phil. Really, really good. Good answer. I have just, Nancy, you may have another question or two, but I have just one last question, Phil, which is sort of kind of developed as organically as the theme here, which is for people who may not be sitting here in the catbird seat saying, boy, I've done a great job and I'm reaping the benefits of all the work I've put in, but are really sort of either at the beginning or in the process and need a reboot. Do you have any advice or any perspectives that you think you would have appreciated when things weren't going maybe as well as you'd wanted them to go?
Keep it simple. HMR works. You know, HMR provides the program, the food, the guidance, and the prescription. And that prescription is important. And your part of the bargain is follow the prescription, drink your water, get your PA in. It's really a pretty simple equation. And try and turn your mind off because we overthink it so much. And if you don't lose it this week, you're going to lose it next week if you're true to the program. It'll happen.
Yeah. Great comment. Minds often undermine our success, don't they? I love that comment. Just turn the mind off and keep it simple. That's great. And we'll take it with you the rest of the way. Beautiful, Phil. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Love it. Really appreciate having you here. And at this point, I think we'll turn the corner and talk to you on the flip side, Phil.
Okay, thanks so much.
Take care. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Nance, I think it's time for us to sort of bring it home.
Yeah.
You know, we picked some of our regulars who were with us every Thursday night in the Diet Community Facebook Live events. So again, Susan, Dave, Jennifer, and Phil, thank you so much for joining us, but we could have picked a lot more too. And maybe if people watching, you thought it was valuable and you liked hearing from others in the community, let us know. If you could leave a comment. We think that this
Rick, just as it relates to that, Karen said she really needed to hear these stories. So I'm guessing that
great,
very inspirational for her and hopefully gives her a next step.
Good, Karen. Good. And yeah, so more to come on this. It's an important issue and it's important to revisit it once in a while. Just you know, we heard that from two different people tonight. Know your why, and some of that why is going to revolve around things like we've heard tonight, quality of life benefits that you either are experiencing or want to experience. That really the best way to get them is to make lifestyle changes, and we're here to support you to do that. Okay.
We have other people saying the same thing. They can't wait to experience many of what others have shared. So
yeah.
Well, now you know the pathway.
Yeah. Stick with the program. We know what we're doing. Stick with the program. Period.
Yeah. Trust
okay. Nance, let's wrap it up here. We purposely wanted to leave one final response to our thought starter question earlier in the week because it really touched on a few different things. Maybe you could read that and then we'll close it down here.
I think you can hang up Phil's phone if you know how to do that. All right. So yes, this is from Lori. I have several autoimmune diseases. At almost 59, I don't move like an old person anymore. I had always been a tiny person until I was 32 and my mom passed away. It took me 7 months to lose 58 pounds. Now I can get up and down a staircase without stopping to rest and breathe. At 5 feet 1 inch, I now weigh 125 pounds, give or take. I'm so proud of myself for resisting temptations while I was 100% on the plan last year. Thank you, HMR, for giving my me back to me. I love the way I look now. I love the way I feel. This is maintainable.
We just thought that that said it all.
Doesn't it?
She's achieved so much, and she likes that person that she's seeing looking back at her. And I love the last comment, Nancy, this is maintainable. I mean, Phil mentioned the simplicity. I mean, we really do look at this as a long-term proposition. We're not just about losing the weight, even though you lose it quickly with HMR. We're all about teaching skills for keeping the weight off long-term, because that's, I mean, that's really what we're all in this for. So anyway, hopefully this was encouraging. Sounds like people thought it was, which is wonderful. I want to thank all of you who are watching, particularly those of you who may not be regulars who tune in usually on Thursday nights. You maybe have seen this event for the first time. Thanks for joining us. We know your time is valuable. Maybe we should invite them, Nancy. What do you say?
Absolutely. And for those that are watching this post, please, glad that you're watching this, and hopefully it's inspirational to you as well. If you don't know that, we have a private Facebook page called the HMR Diet Community, and you are welcome to join that. And it's just a great place. And we hold these events every Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So please consider joining us in that private community. We're going to post the link to that here in the comments, so you can look for that.
Yeah, we'd like nothing more than for you to become regulars in that weekly event as well.
We have a lot of active members, and you saw 4 of them tonight. So
yeah,
it's just a wonderful place to share your ideas and get any support you need. The coaches, our HMR coaches, are there as well. It's a great place.
Absolutely. Well, Nance, this was a blast. Thanks again to the people who participated. And again, thank you all for your time. And most importantly, have a good, strong week. Use this as sort of a jumping off point for having a strong, healthy week in the next 7 days ahead. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for spending time with us.